we're coming off of the end of 2022, so there's a bunch of 2022 greatest and best of the generation, best of this year and that year. And I believe, I'm not sure if this is Variety or who came up with this.
This was New York Times.
New York Times.
Yeah.
Okay. The New York Times has listed the greatest rapper of the generation.
Yeah.
And they have named Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar, man. So generation, let's just start there. Where does generation start?
This generation, because I've listened to people say like Jay-Z, Kanye, Lil Wayne. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say that's this generation.
Yeah, I would say 2010, right?
I would say yes, 2010 to now would be.
We could really do 12. That's when the album came out. I would say maybe 12.
Yes, I want to give enough range for the end of millennials and Gen Z in there, because that's exactly. a part of the end of the millennials. Right. Teenage years, that's 14 to the adolescent, young adult age for millennials, and then in the 2010s and moving into today's time, this is this generation's Gen Z teenagers moving into their young adult years. Right. So this generation is basically, the end of millennials and the top of Gen Z. This went in an uproar, but I agree with this.
I agree too. I don't think there's anybody else that you can really give it to.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm not saying that Kendrick doesn't deserve this. Right. Kendrick is well deserving of greatest rapper of anything. I don't care if you wanted to say it was from 2010 to 2015.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar has been the greatest rapper in the game since he stepped in it.
Absolutely, man. There's no argument to that. Like we said, Good Kid, Mad City. You can argue, but I'll just say it. It's the best album that's come out in the last 10 years. You know what I'm saying? That was 12, right? 2012, if I'm not mistaken.
2012, October 2012, yes.
So, like, I don't think anybody has put out a better album collectively from start to finish since that.
Yeah, and if anybody's put out a better album since then, it's another one of his albums. It's real shit.
Real talk, though.
Because then you get on to the argument on better rap on Good Kid, Mad City, but better artistry on To Pimp a Butterfly.
Right.
The man can only outdo himself and can only be outdone by himself. Then you move on to Damn, which is a mixture of both.
And it won a fucking, was it?
A Pulitzer Prize.
Like, come on now. Who does that?
Then you wait 5 years on one of the greatest albums of 2022 to drop.
Yeah. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers.
What you said was correct when we began the conversation. Like I said, I don't want to say it because I don't think he's the greatest, but there really isn't another artist that could be compared to him over the generation besides J. Cole. But J. Cole's rapping and artistry is up there with Kendrick. Right. But because of commercialization and how popular Kendrick Lamar is, I think his impact is bigger than J. Cole's.
Yeah, of course. I've always had that argument as well. Y'all know I'm Dreamville biased.
J. Cole's yeah. I know that.
So obviously I'm always going to say that, of course, I think Cole is a better rapper. But like you said, we talking about who's more decorated, who's been more acclaimed, who's had the most popularity. Is Kendrick Lamar.
This is a Pac and Biggie conversation.
Like, and it just is what it is, man.
Kendrick Lamar will always be the Tupac of it.
Right, of course.
So yeah, naturally, he'll take the crown for shit like that. I saw a lot of people saying Drake. I understand when people, if this said the greatest artist of the generation, I can get with you.
Yeah.
We are speaking specifically right now as the greatest rapper. Rap on wax, rap on paper, rap on bars, rap on freestyle, whatever that is. If you have a debacle that deterred your career based off of someone else writing your lyrics, it doesn't matter what point in time in your career that was, that will always take you out of that conversation.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Drake.
I know, and I love Drake. And to be completely honest, none of that shit that had to do with Quentin means anything to me.
Yeah, not at all, bro. Because every artist does that shit. You know what I'm saying? That just blew up, and that was the first time people really had heard about that. Because we studied the game. We knew shit like that happens all the time. But that just kind of got, a lot of eyes on it. It was too many people involved. Everybody's like, oh shit, Drake doesn't write his wrongs.
We had to void the rap card then.
Like, come on, guys.